Good afternoon. This is Dr. MC of Dr. MC's Self-Care Cabaret. With a little bit of technical difficulty. I'm not sure why, but Facebook decided to update the browser settings for Facebook Live, and Chrome doesn't work. So I had to switch computers, try to download a browser, tried a different browser. That didn't work. Called in the reinforcements, also known as my husband, my tech director. We were able to install a third browser to get this up and running. So the setup's a little different today. But in other news, I hung this cute little basket you can see behind me here to house some of my stuff while I'm working from home. And you can see my Kate Spade journal that says, "When life hands you lemons, make limoncello." I'm not going to make limoncello, but I may drink limoncello later today as a result of the unnecessary stress trying to get on Facebook Live today. Regardless, we're here now, and we'll get started. So, I have lots of stuff planned. We were going to do a relaxation, a guided meditation. I was also going to talk about the domains of self-care. I have a reading from Pocket Positivity, and I was going to do a card pull. So let's get started. We'll start with my Pocket Positivity. And it is perfect for today. And hi, Jane, and hi, Mom, and the other folks that are on. Thanks for bearing with me while we were getting started today. And so let's see. So we're reading from Pocket Positivity. And this is Try the Possibility Mindset reading. Inspiration is a powerful motivator as well as a mood enhancer, and it can have a huge impact on how you feel. For this exercise, you will put your negative thinking on pause and allow yourself to dwell only on the positive. Step 1. Think about a current problem or challenge in your life. Is there something that feels overwhelming or impossible? I think there's a few things we could think of right now. Step 2. Consider your current thoughts about this problem. They're probably along the lines of, "There's no way I can," or "It's too difficult to." Write down these negative thoughts or pessimistic thoughts on a piece of paper with some space on the page in between each thought. Now try the possibility mindset. Instead of focusing on the obstacle between you and solving your problem or meeting your goal, think about all of the possibilities that this challenge opens up for you. For each negative thought, run it through the possibility mindset and write down what comes out on the other side. For example, "There's no way I can figure this out" could become, "I have what it takes to find the solution." Do this for each negative thought. Once you have completed each pair, read through them and highlight, underline, or otherwise call attention to the positive thought. This will help you plant the new thought in your mind. Revisit these positive thoughts whenever you need a little inspiration. I'm big on having a growth mindset, and I really try to catch the negative thoughts that I have and reframe them. So this just kind of breaks down some steps on how you can do that and make sure that you have a possibility mindset and not a negative mindset. Especially right now with all that is happening and rapidly changing, we need to be paying extra attention to what is going on and what we're telling ourselves. So there's a little possibility mindset shift exercise for you today. And let's see. Oh, I also wanted to draw attention to my earrings. Compliments of Recess Boutique. It's very important right now to be supporting small business. This is a little boutique in Winchester, Massachusetts. My Reiki master, Amber, had these on, and I felt inspired by them. They're hamsas. Hamsa is the hand, and it represents good vibes only. So it's a nice symbol, so I'm rocking my hamsa earrings today from Recess Boutique in Winchester. All right. I also wanted to talk about the domains of self-care. So, there are 10 domains of self-care. And each one has its own set of kind of goals for each domain that would be great if you could achieve them, as well as kind of approaches that support it. So we're going to go through these. So the first domain, they're in no particular order. They're all very important. And it would be ideal if you could access kind of all of the domains and think about how you address each domain in your life and with your self-care plan. The other thing, so this comes from the research from Dr. Cook Cotton, and she has, I'll share the link later, but there's actually an online assessment you can take to kind of gauge where your strengths and weaknesses are as it pertains to self-care and each of the domains. So we're going to go through them. So the first domain is nutrition and hydration. Hopefully folks do okay in this domain, but some of the things that support a healthy nutrition and hydration domain would be drinking water throughout the day, not skipping meals, eating a variety of nutritious foods, and paying attention to your hunger cues. If you're hungry, eat. If you're full, stop. We did talk a little bit about intuitive eating the first week we went Facebook Live, and we will talk more about it. But that's some thoughts on the nutrition hydration domain. Domain 1. The next domain is exercise. Exercise, regular exercise that is not extreme and not done as a form of punishment, maybe for something you ate and felt bad about, is very, very important. We all know that exercise is important, but we want to make sure that we're not sitting for long periods of time and that we engage in fun physical activities. So activities such, for me, fun physical activities are dancing, swimming, walking, those types of things. I'm not necessarily one of those people that finds joy in a gym, but if that's something you do and that brings you joy and you like it, by all means, that's a wonderful way to exercise. And you want to make sure that you schedule your exercise routines. Don't leave it up to chance. Make it something that you schedule and you do regularly, at least 30 to 60 minutes. Also, more recent research supports, 10,000 steps a day. Everybody's heard that. But Marty Seligman in his book Flourish talks about new guidelines from the American Heart Association that if you're not getting at least 5,000 steps a day, you really need to reevaluate your lifestyle. So there's ways you can do that. You can buy a Fitbit or wear a pedometer, or also if you have a smartphone, your smartphone has a pacer app, at least iPhones do, and you can track and kind of get an idea of your steps that way. Keep in mind if you're using a pacer app or a smartphone app of any kind, you need to always have it on you or it won't count the steps. So, especially right now, there are tons of options for virtual workouts and online classes, which I've been having a ball with. So if you're feeling like, oh, I can't exercise, you absolutely can exercise and you should be, but just make sure, you might have to get a little creative to do it. The domain 3 is soothing strategies. So we want to think about what we do to soothe ourselves. This can be things like thinking about calm things. We're going to do a guided meditation soon, which is a soothing strategy. We want to do deep breathing. We've talked about that before as being a great way to de-stress. Other things such as physical activities, intellectual, interpersonal activities, creative activities, these can all be soothing strategies. So you want to make sure you're engaging in those as part of your self-care routine as well. The next domain, self-awareness and mindfulness. So we want to make sure that we are having a calming awareness of our thoughts, feelings, and body. 10 minutes ago, when Facebook Live wouldn't work for me, I could feel a very uncalming awareness in my body. But I was able to focus. I knew it wasn't the end of the world. We started a few minutes late. I was able to kind of focus and keep going and think clearly and troubleshoot on the spot to be able to fix the issue we were having. And look at that. Now we're here. So, self-awareness, mindfulness, being in the moment, being present. Meditation is a great strategy for this domain. as well as, you know, acknowledging gratitude. We've talked a little bit about gratitude. Gratitude is another way to practice in this domain, as well as yoga and any other mind-body practices you may participate in. The next domain, rest. Get enough sleep. 7 to 9 hours of sleep. And you also want to plan breaks. It's okay to plan a break. Take it. You must. Even if you're working from home, take the time to take a break. Rest when you need it. If you're not feeling well, you need to give your body rest. And then plan pleasant activities that are not work or school related. And make sure, you know, you schedule your time for sleep. So for me, when I was kind of knee-deep in the doctoral program and working full-time and trying to be a new homeowner and a wife and all those things that we do, that was really, really difficult. But one of the things that I did not sacrifice was my sleep, and I highly recommend making sure you get enough sleep. So you have to plan for it. Like, it's time to go to bed. You have to go to bed. If you're one of these people that can stay up all night and not get enough sleep, you really have to make a conscious effort to do so. If you have trouble sleeping, I do suggest looking into a weighted blanket. There's a lot of research on the effectiveness. I have one, and I think it's phenomenal, and I love it, and it definitely has helped. So if sleep issues are something you experience, you might want to look into that. I did write a blog post about weighted blankets that you can find on drmcselfcare.com. Okay, relationships. Another important domain of self-care. Spending time and making time for people who are good to you and people who believe in you and support you. We need to feel supported in our lives. And that is one of the domains of self-care. You stand up for yourself. You need to know also that you could stand up for yourself in a relationship. You need to know that you would be respected if you said no. These are all things that support a healthy relationship domain for self-care, according to Dr. Cook-Cotton. And I'm seeing some comments here. It can be very difficult right now during all of this. People are experiencing sleep difficulties. I've been seeing lots of posts about this and different articles, people talking about having recurring nightmares and that kind of stuff. If you can do any type of soothing exercises before bed, maybe, my mom is commenting deep breathing exercises. Yes, deep breathing exercises, but also you want to maybe think about a weighted blanket. If you don't have one, that could help. What it does is it actually lowers the cortisol level in your body and helps keep the stress hormones lower. We also use an oil diffuser in the bedroom, so there's always soothing scents in the room, which also helps. And then think about, your usage of devices kind of right before bed. Is there a lot of screen time before bed? What are you watching? What are you listening to? Can you listen to some white noise or nature sounds to help you go to sleep? There are several apps and free things on YouTube that you can use to do that could help, because you really need to quiet the mind. A lot of times I find myself in bed with my phone, like right before I go to sleep. It's not really helpful. So try to limit that if you can. All right. Next domain. Oh, I think I jumped ahead. Hold on. Relationships. Talk about relationships. All right. Next domain. Physical and medical. Engaging and accessing regular medical care and dental care is also one of the domains of self-care. So we want to make sure that we're doing our annual physicals, and we want to make sure that we're taking prescribed medications as needed, and we're not kind of self-medicating with other things. We're taking our vitamins, we're up to date on immunizations, and we're following generally the doctor's recommendations. Same goes for dental care. And, no drug use, no smoking, limiting alcohol intake. That all falls under the physical medical domain. Oh, and Jane, kinds of devices. So your devices, I said, put down your devices at night. Don't be playing on your cell phone if you're watching TV, that kind of stuff. Like, that's not great to do right before bed if you can help it. Unplug. All right. Environmental factors is the next domain. So, the next domain. So, our environmental factors. This is how we maintain our space. This is how we maintain our schedule. Do we maintain a manageable schedule? Or do we take on too much and too many requests and demands? I am very guilty of that. And I try and work really hard not to do that, but sometimes I can't help it. We also, if you need things to make your space suitable, that you have access to, and you get those things. So you have what you need to be successful. So that all goes into kind of your environment, the environmental factor domain. Proper clothing, given different weather, that kind of stuff. Self-compassion. Self-compassion, this domain, is that you do not engage in negative self-talk or harsh self-talk. We all have those little voices, and sometimes they're not always nice. And those little voices can inhibit us and not make us feel good, and consequently that would cause the self-compassion domain to have some challenges. So you want to kindly acknowledge your own challenges and difficulties. I mean, we all have them. But you don't need to beat yourself up about them. And feel your feelings. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to scream, scream. Whatever it is you need to do to feel your feelings, that's okay. So that is the self-compassion domain of self-care. And last, but certainly not least, the spiritual domain of self-care. So this doesn't necessarily mean the same thing as religious or religion. But what this does mean is that you experience meaning and or a larger purpose in your work or school life. So this is, I know there's a lot of educators that follow my page. Typically, people in education do feel a larger purpose and a calling, and refer to education kind of as they're not in it for the money. They're in it because it was a calling for them to become educators and help children. So somebody like that would probably have a pretty high score in the spiritual domain of self-care. You also can certainly spend time in spiritual places, whatever that means for you. If it's church, if it's a meditation room, if it's outside in nature, whatever that is, you want to have that component to your self-care routine. You also want to spend time with others who share your spiritual worldview. So again, this could be at a church or a community or a volunteer group or another type of group. And spend time volunteering can also promote wellness in the spiritual practice domain. So all of these domains, they all, this is from Dr. Cook-Cotton's research. There is an assessment you can take. I will post the link later for folks if you want to go on there and take the online quiz. I highly recommend it. I always give it when I do presentations, so folks can kind of get an idea of where their strengths and weaknesses are when it comes to a self-care routine. So you may find that you score really high, maybe in the exercise domain, but your spiritual and self-compassion really could use some work. So that just gives you a little bit of an idea of where to focus. So again, I'll post that link so folks can take the quiz later if they'd like. All right. So that brings us to our guided meditation. I just want to go back to the comments for a second. I think I misunderstood Jane's question. So what kind of devices? Is this for the apps? Because there's different apps you can use, would be both on an iPhone or a cell phone. an iPhone, cell phone, iPad, anything. They're smartphone apps. So a couple that I recommend, Insight Timer, Calm, Aura is another one. Calm has a lot of music options, and educators can actually access a Calm subscription for free. Headspace is another meditation app that is really good. And sometimes I'll just go on YouTube, though, and pull up like meditation music or music to raise my vibration, and take it that way, and you can get lots of free stuff that way. All right, so we're going to do our guided meditation, and then we'll end with a card pull. So this guided meditation comes from a couple people joining us. Thank you for joining us. Hi, Alexandra. And I saw Kevin's on here too. Hi, Kevin. And I can't actually see, unless you comment, I can't tell who's actually on here, but doesn't really matter. So this guided meditation is called Starry Sky Relaxation. And I thought it was perfect because this room that I'm actually in, which is my self-care space, is inspired by the starry night sky. You can see the curtains behind me have little glittery stars on them. At some point, my mom and I are going to paint silver stars around the room and kind of make it more. There's lots of self-care decor around, as well as other celestial decor to honor the night sky. I love the starry night sky. So we'll get started. Oh, and Jane is commenting, listening to Harry Potter books. Yes, listening to an audiobook can be also a really great way to kind of unwind and help with sleep. All right. This Starry Sky Relaxation comes to us from the good folks at Inner Health Studio. Again, this is another one from them. I'll post a link later in case folks want to access it. But get comfy and let's do this guided meditation. This Starry Sky Relaxation is a guided imagery script that will describe relaxing at dusk and watching the stars appear in the night sky. Start by finding a comfortable position. As you settle in, direct your attention to your body. Notice how your body feels in this moment. Let your body begin to relax by releasing the areas of tension, such as your shoulders. Feel the tension slipping away as you lower your shoulders slightly and let the muscles give up their hold. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, let your body relax even more. Where is your body feeling most tense? Focus your attention on this area as you take another breath in. And feel this area relaxing as you breathe out. Breathe in and out. In and out. Continue to take slow, deep breaths. Where is your body the most relaxed? Notice how this area feels. Notice how the relaxation feels. See how you can let this relaxed feeling increase, growing and relaxing, feeling your whole body relax, as if your muscles are melting, softening, and relaxing. As your body relaxes more and more, you can also relax your mind as you focus on the guided imagery to follow. Imagine that you are outdoors at dusk. It is still light out, but the sun has set below the horizon. It is a pleasant temperature, comfortable, and you are in a safe, peaceful place in the country. Maybe you are on a farm, or in the mountains, or in the open prairie. Picture a place that feels calm, safe, and serene. A place you would enjoy watching the starry sky at night. Imagine the details of your surroundings. You are probably sitting in a chair or lying on a blanket. Your position allows you to admire the sky above. See the grass on the ground around you. You might see some trees or rocks, or even just wide open plains. Imagine this pleasant scene and feel yourself relaxing, simply enjoying the solitude. The sky is becoming gradually darker. The highest part of the sky is a deep indigo color, becoming darker and darker as the moments pass. This color blends into a lighter shade, almost green. At the horizon, the sky is an interesting shade of pink, mixed with gray in the fading light. It is very peaceful watching the sky darken. The air around you is still and calm. In the distance, you can hear crickets and frogs as they begin to sing. The air is slightly cooler now, very pleasantly cool against your forehead and cheeks. Looking at the horizon now, shapes such as distant trees or buildings are in silhouette. Your eyes are slowly adjusting to the decreasing light. As you gaze up at the sky above, it stretches from horizon to horizon like a vast dome. Straight up above, the sky is growing darker and is nearly black, fading to a lighter color near the horizon in the west. You can see the first stars appear. First, one star, and then another, and another. See them twinkle, shining like tiny diamonds. As you look at the darkening sky, you can see more and more stars. Relax and enjoy the dusk, watching night begin. The sky is even darker now. It has become dark black, with only a slight hint of light at the horizon where the sun has set. The sky is so clear, you see no clouds anywhere to obscure the starry sky. More stars have appeared. Until now, the sky looks like it has been sprinkled by a salt shaker full of gleaming crystals of salt that are the stars. Some stars are bright and luminous. Others are tiny specks that you can barely see. Simply enjoy relaxing under the starry sky, enjoying this quiet retreat. Now the sky is jet black. Out here, away from the city lights, the stars are amazingly bright. Have you ever seen so many stars? The sky is filled with so many stars you would not even be able to count them. See the constellations formed by stars. It is like hundreds of connect-the-dots pictures spread out before you. The starry sky is so huge, so vast, a beautiful glimmering blanket of stars stretching up in a complete circle around you from every horizon. admire the starry sky. Feeling very calm, relaxed, at peace. When you are ready to leave your imagined peaceful place, you can begin to reawaken your body and mind. Feel your muscles reawakening as you take note of your surroundings. Slowly return to the present. Move your muscles by wiggling your fingers. Now open and close your hands a few times. Wiggle your toes and move your ankles. Move your arms and legs. Stretch if you want to, feeling your body becoming fully awake. Take a moment to sit quietly as you reawaken completely. Notice that you still feel calm and relaxed, though you are awake and alert. When your mind and body are fully awake, you can resume your usual activities, feeling refreshed. That was the Starry Sky Guided Relaxation Meditation from Inner Health Studio. I hope you enjoyed that, as well as our discussion on the domains of self-care and our reading on having a positivity mindset. Last but certainly not least today, we're going to do a card reading. So, I've gone ahead and pulled cards for you from my Deja Druid self-care deck, different activities for self-care. So I want you to think of a number 1 to 3 and feel which number is resonating with you right now, 1, 2, or 3. And I will reveal the cards that go with each of those numbers. So to start, card 1 is Ritual. So ritual, this is an activity if you were thinking of number 1. Ritual activity would be something like smudging, burning candles, incense. We'll talk more about smudging because some people probably don't know what that is. That's the act of burning sage. You could do some stuff with crystals, Tibetan singing bowls, any of that sort of stuff that you have, or put on some music. Even a guided meditation would be considered a ritual practice. So that's for number 1. Card number 2 is Gift. So I interpret this card to be either treat yourself to something or buy someone else a gift. I would promote supporting small businesses as always, but especially right now, we want our favorite places to be around when stores reopen and things can go back to our new normal. So I recently, and actually this morning, had it delivered from Zuzu's in Melrose, which is an awesome metaphysical shop. She has been posting, the owner, Sue Eustace, has been posting lots of items they have for sale. And she also lives in the community where I live, so she was able to drop the goodies off. So I treated myself to some goodies from Zuzu's, including crystals and a sun catcher and some incense. So perhaps you can purchase something for yourself or someone else. Doesn't have to be huge, but from one of your favorite small businesses. The third card, if you were drawn to the third card, it is Read. So maybe there's a book you've been dying to read and you put off, or maybe there's a magazine or an article that you've been meaning to read. If number 3 was your card, then it's time to do that and do your reading. So these are your self-care activities for this week, 1, 2, and 3. And that concludes today's Facebook Live. Again, sorry for the the technical issue getting started, but here we are. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you can, invite your friends to join us at Dr. MC's Self-Care Cabaret. Subscribe to my blog at drmcselfcare.com. I have a weekly blog where we highlight lots of different self-care practices. This past week we talked about Ayurveda, which maybe we'll talk about next week on Facebook Live. Who knows? But we're going to continue with the every Tuesday at noon. So plan accordingly, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.